Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joel Duggan and we're hanging out here in Minecraft on the Citadel server just outside of the town of Westhill, where we're going to continue to work on the Westhill Valley, tidy some things up, work on some landscaping. The inventory is still full of the blocks that we need, so we should be good to go there. Don't think I need torches right now. And we're going to pick up where we left off, and that is over here. So we've got some work to do along this river edge. I think the cliff is going to stay that high. I'm not entirely sure. But I do know that I want to change the way that this is coming together. Obviously, there's some missing blocks and stuff. But yeah, this needs to be smoothed out a great deal. So we're going to start, I think, here. And maybe add in some stuff a little bit here and there. See what we can come up with. But I think it needs to be smoother in general. Overall, you can kind of see kind of where things fall apart here. And so we're just going to smooth that out because I think it'll help the look of things. SeerOfTerribleOmens, hello. We've got hi there. SweetSandi, Dan, all hanging out in the chat. So I'll just kind of follow what's happening here on the side. I feel like that has got to be, yeah. Kind of step our way down. Takes a little bit of time, but I think overall it will be better in the long run. Now here, I think we'll keep on going forward. That. Is the rare brown spotted squid? Oh yeah, I think the cow's stuck in some sort of water current. At some point, I was hoping to change the angle of this. It feels pretty straight. So maybe we can come back in here and start to add a little bit. I may also find this cave. That's going to get annoying. There you are. Of course, I don't have the torches anymore. So I guess what we could do here is start to push it out, but then we end up with these spots where we end up with two blocks of dirt that I don't want. But I guess that's where the cliff would come in. Yeah, like what I just want to avoid is too much of the double dirt look, because it looks really steep and unnatural. But I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around what shape this should be. Maybe the whole thing, maybe it just has to go. Maybe the whole cliff just has to be pulled back. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, that needs to change a lot faster. I feel like we should be able to do this without ruining the cliff. Maybe we just have to go down a lot faster. And here we can do the same thing. And then curve this to match. And then we just maybe come out 2 here. See if that starts to feel a little bit more natural. Yeah, that's starting to look better. Problem is I don't think we have enough horizontal space between here and the river. Oh, we might now. Blast, Jordan. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good Saturday so far. So I'm just going to do the same thing here, except for try to offset this over this way. So this area here will end up being pretty flat, but that's okay. MC Mira, hello. Welcome back. It's a little bit better. We still got to integrate it into the cliff, but I think it's helping. Yeah, see, every time I get into this situation, it tends to like, it's always something that just doesn't seem to work out the way that you want. Maybe if we do that, it might feel a little bit harsh there, but I mean, it's a cliff. It's going to have to be a little bit. All right, let's try to smooth this part out. I'm trying for at least 3 thick, like that. 3, 4 in the gap. 3, 3, 4 in the gap. 2, 3, 4. And then here we can start to come out a little bit more. Once that fills in, it should be a little bit better. And then here we even have the room come out a little bit farther. And then we can take this one down, but we're going to try to make this even wider. So maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So even 6. Yeah. It's a lot like building the roads that we were working on before. Usually more fun to try and offset them a little bit. And then from here, we can cut this down and it'll be a little bit more of a gentle slope going down to the river. I might be able to pull this down a little bit as well. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's do maybe 5. Now we just replace all this stone with grass. We should be good. I hope. I guess we could leave like a rock down here too. That would be all right. Yeah, let's do that. It's a good shape. Oh, this was supposed to come over this way, wasn't it? Yeah, something a little bit more natural. Leaning into the stuff that we found when we move the grass. It's always kind of fun to do that when you find random things in Minecraft that say like, hey, you know what? Rather than just completely, you know, flattening this whole area, like if you lean into the things that you find. I think, Sandy, you were doing that on one of your worlds, right? You had like a weird Minecraft arch that was in the middle of nowhere you were trying to build up on. This feels a little bit funny though. Let's lean this the other way. Really hard to tell until all the dirt goes away. Looks smoother though. We are definitely gonna have to light up that cave. Do I have more than 4 torches? Yes. Heard the zombie somewhere nearby. That's one way to take care of a zombie. The big cave. Looks like I've already been down here a little bit. That'll take care of that. And there's a mine shaft down here. Alright, that should at least eliminate the noisy zombies and problems at the surface. Except for it's nighttime now outside. There is lots of iron down there, yeah. It's all old world generation. This is all this is 116. 116 world gen. All right, that's starting to fill in. You can sort of see how the contour lines are sort of doing what I wanted. I feel like it's a little bit messy up here, like too much of a straight line. But it's a cliff, so like, what are you gonna do? And I think I also had a missing part over here somewhere. Yes. Now we will fix this part later. For now, the only thing I want to fix up is just the water. Which I think I can do. Take these off so I don't go crazy. I think this has to get filled in from the bottom. Is it me or am I? Oh, there we go. Maybe I just have to fill this in with dirt. Yeah, that's what it needs. Guess I just have to remember where everything is. Yep. Wonder if I just did this layer, if it would be enough. And then I could remove it later. Dirt or kelp? That's a good idea. Kelp would work too, wouldn't it? Let's try both. I'm pretty sure I've got kelp. Pretty sure I have kelp. Do I have it out here with me? That's the other question. Not a lot of kelp. I think I've got more down here. Could be wrong. Could be very wrong. That's right. I only ever use it. I guess we could just bone meal it, right? That would be the other easy way to do it. Just double check I don't have anything hiding. No, it was. I thought I remember seeing something green, but it was sugarcane. There's also ocean, not terribly far away. We could just go get more. Kelp is probably the faster way to do this. Let's test it on this little area here. For people that don't know, when kelp grows, it creates a water source. If it's in a water source, or if it's in water, it will turn sources around it into full water sources. It's great for when you want to make elevators. We need more kelp anyway, so this is actually going to work to our benefit. It also grows at different rates with bone meal. It's not 1-to-1. It'll grow like 2 or 3 spots. Oh yeah, that's way faster than the dirt. Way faster. And we have the benefit of getting extra kelp. Maybe we'll even rescue the cow. Be able to find his way out. That almost worked. I guess we have to do the edges. Yep. I really cannot wait to get a proper automatic kelp farm going when we have the crafter available to us. That's going to be awesome. This is going to chew through all of our bone meal though. Very satisfying to break. It's a pain to collect. I think the thing to do is going to be to get some water breathing potions. Genetically related to scaffolding. Does scaffolding make water sources too? The good thing about this is that the bone meal doesn't keep going. Once it's reached the top of the water, it doesn't continue to eat up your bone meal. Oh yeah, that's way faster than trying to fill things in with dirt. I'll have to remember that, because I run into this kind of thing all the time. Alright, we should be able to just kind of find a spot here. Start going across. So I guess we'll start maybe here. This is all stuff we can replace later. Not sure how much of this we should do at a time, but I guess I don't have to do that top spot. Gonna want that back. And maybe you don't have to do every block. Maybe I only have to do like a checkerboard. That could be the easier way to do it. We'll test that. All right. You can also place kelp on soul sand, but bubbles only appear when you break them at the bottom. Can you place them on soul sand now? That was always my thing about making bubble columns, is that you couldn't do it. You had to like build the whole column first and then put the soul sand in at the end. I'm gonna try to leave these elytra on so I'm not constantly going back and forth. See if a checkered pattern works. It should, the way that water is supposed to work. It also just might be faster to just blanket the whole thing, but I'd say that the checker pattern works. I think that's probably an even better way to do it. And then, of course, up along here, we can just use our buckets. Oh, I forgot that it does that. That's frustrating. I think I need to go get rid of some grass and dirt. You can now. Okay. It's been a long time since I've bothered to make a a bubble elevator for any reason. I haven't been moving any items around. I haven't done any redstone. We haven't been in the modern city to use them as elevators. We kind of went weird, wacky tech in the modern city. I think I'll be better off with just one bucket. Yeah, that came together pretty quick, didn't it? Oh, of course, there's another bucket over here. I guess that's the thing, you can just kind of come across with like a diagonal pattern. Maybe that's even easier. I guess you still have to do the edges though. Some of that is fixed already and I haven't even done anything. Wow. I didn't have to use any bone meal. I guess we could just go straight across too. Well, that's way faster. Thanks for the tip. It's the thing is, like, even though I've been playing this game forever, I feel like there's so many different ways to do stuff that you forget. Geez, that's all it took. We didn't have to use any bone meal at all. I'll call that a win. So there you go. Trying to fill in a river or fill in anything. Just do like a checkered pattern every other block with kelp. I mean, you can really just, if you have other things to do, you can just walk away and wait for it to grow and it'll eventually fill things in. Sometimes I like using kelp in the rivers, but it grows as high as it possibly can. So eventually it just all ends up being the same height. So I tend to use the seagrass, which you have more control over. It's also easier to do because you can just float along the bottom and tap your bone meal on the bottom and get some regular kind of foliage and mossy looking things. Well, now we've got lots of kelp. That's good. kelp wasn't one of those things you could stop growing with shears. Oh, you're right. You probably can do that. But like at the scale of these rivers all through the valley, it's not something that I want to go around and do. I've done it in some places where it's meant to be like a look off, where I put a couple pieces of kelp by a dock up here where it only grows like 2 or 3 blocks tall. You know, like something like that would be fine. You're right though. You can probably trim it with shears. Would be really cool for an underwater build where you really wanted that kind of control. So I have not been concerning myself much with the other side of the river, because otherwise I just have an endless to-do list. Still not entirely sure about this. I think it looks okay for now. This is something basic. I think we filled this all in. This is all green now. That's good. I think that takes care of that area, at least for now. And I've got enough for at least a couple of stacks in there, and then I have to keep the others somewhere else. Kiwi be good. Hello, welcome back. I may end up dipping into those later. Laura, subscribing at tier 1, 28 months. Working on the outside of the walls today. Yeah, we're kind of polishing things up. I'm still waiting for a couple of quality of life mods that we have on the server to update. And we have some data pack woes that we have to work through. So the problems of having a long-term server and dealing with multiple authors from different mods and data packs is that you either end up with bugs, stuff becomes unusable, you have to find replacements for things. So I've been holding off on the update. But yeah, we're puttering around outside. So I mean, there's still things to do. I never like doing the final textures on roads until I know that the builds are in place, and so I don't want to dig into any of this too heavily. But you can kind of see the topography work that we've done. There might be a little bit more to be done over there. Can't really see. Let's go up high. Yeah, a few little things there. But overall, pretty smooth in terms of like making this feel a little bit more natural. Now you imagine if this was going to be like some flowers from this particular farm with the bees, then it would be kind of cool to have that there, because when you come down this road, you'd be able to see it. Like you'd be able to see bees moving around and stuff. That would be pretty cool. This just feels a little bit strange here. Maybe we'll take this down a little bit. And then we'll push this maybe a little bit farther. There. Yeah, I think we're going to use lilacs, and I think over here, though, I want to do the pitcher plants. So I think this area here will end up with like a pitcher plant vibe. And I don't think I want to do... I don't think I want to make it look like this. I think I maybe want to... Well, that does have the tiers on it. I think I'd like to have maybe a mix. Like I'd like to have these outlines here actually have stone, like actually be stone walls. There'll be a small gap between the plants. That might mean this is going to change its height, which might change the way that this road works. And that's why I haven't textured this road, because I got a funny feeling when we get into doing this stuff here, we might want to mess around with this. This is also something that could be smoothed out, I guess. Looks like maybe it's already been done. Well, maybe not. Epic Enderman, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's all pretty standard. Just got a lot of tall grass. So you can sort of see how the lay of the land kind of goes through the road, but it curves, and it curves kind of abruptly. So that might end up being something that we fix. Could it be something that looks more natural later on? And I think I'd rather wait until that farm is in to do that. So I won't necessarily be going down that road. Would make sense to have a wall support the land. Yeah, I could do that too. That's what all these are, right? Like these walls, and then over here we did the same thing. It's all walled up. It looks, sometimes when you fly over too quick, it's hard to kind of see, but when you're in it, you can see the different tiers. And it provides some places to walk through, small little bridges and things like that. It feels a little bit more organized and planted, you know. Guess we could look at this area too. Time for a break. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Sandy. I'm gonna put that away, and I'll put some of this away too. Just to kind of give us some room in those shulkers. Really haven't done much organization down here. Just kind of figured these big bulk chests would end up being dirt and grass. Yeah, I really don't know what I'm going to put in this area here. I feel like something has to go in here. Maybe a tree or something. But it's another spot where the earth doesn't make a lot of sense. You know, like I feel like it might be worth it to curve this out more. Kind of like a lot of rubble and stuff down here. Like it might be better to have that come out and connect there. Or curve it back the other way and have the wall look taller. Maybe that's what we need to do. You know, that wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be bad. This does feel a little bit short. If we curve those back to like there, then this would be a lot lower. But then it would give us a larger flat area too to kind of deal with. So that's also a concern. Cool. I take a break about once an hour, folks. I'm going to do that now. So if you're new to the channel, you can grab yourself a drink, maybe even let a friend know that we're streaming. And we'll be back in just a few minutes. And we'll pick up with some other thing on the to-do list that I have to kind of work through before we update to 1.20.4. Be right back. So I keep a book that we can check for the next thing on the to-do list, besides removing all the creepy crawlies. Creeper over there. I'm just going to let them hang out and do their thing. All right. I need this. Not bad for landing. We can't do that. Can't do that. I think this is all. Yep, it's last stuff. Westhill Valley Crossroads, North Road, East Rose Bridge. We did that actually, so we can check some of this stuff off. So East Road to Bridge. Well, I guess we haven't textured it. Right. So maybe we need to call this Crossroads texture. East River and Wharf, Westhill River Inn. We've started to plan that. Northern Farms, West Riverscape. Marshy area is done. Interior we can't do. West Riverscaping. The rivers. There's really not much left. So I guess it's just the easiest thing to address is going to be the rivers. And what I mean by that is, you know, we've got places like here where the edge of the river is quite clearly being messy. And then here, especially in places, I think I did it all the way up to the bridge here. And then I wanted to just get rid of the sand just until around the bend. And then it's the same for the East River. I kind of wanted to get rid of the sand just around the bend so that you can't see it from the bridge. And then we're going to connect that. This I think is all done through here, except for we haven't done all the like the bone meal things. And then all through here is done. It's just, yeah, it's the northern part. So I guess we'll pop up here and we'll just get rid of some of that. Yeah, I'm just trying to, I'm looking at this idea of trying to make it look like, for as far as the player's eye can see, not necessarily chunk load, but like if something goes out of your vision because there's something in front of it, like I just want to make sure that everything has a finished look to it. So we'll bring some coarse dirt. We'll bring some dirt. I need more rockets. I'm definitely going to need those potions back. Won't need torches. And I think that's really it. I guess just a bucket in case we need to do some water stuff. So all I was doing with this was just keeping the landscape coming down into the riverbed as best I can. In some cases, I think I was filling it in. So I may not pick up all that sand. I might just kind of cover it over. But then this stuff will dig up. In some cases, it ends up covering up the bottom of the river. It's the kind of thing where I've often thought this would make like a good evening stream with just like throw on some music, no talking, just go through. That's just regular dirt. The other thing I've been doing is putting coarse dirt along the edge of the river. And then just regular dirt after that. So in a lot of cases, it's more like filling it in. And then other cases, you'll have to dig up the sand. And then you always have to deal with squid. Seems to be the constant. Of course, if you don't want to go dig up your desert, clearing up your rivers is an excellent way to get a lot of sand. For all the glass that I'm probably going to use in a sci-fi build in the future, I've got a decent amount of sand. Not like all the sand I need, but certainly a good amount. Gravel I will take, though. Same with clay. SweetSandi, thank you for being awesome. Much appreciated. Yeah, so I think this is probably going to get filled in a little bit, because it's very deep. And this also helps with all the extra dirt that, like, I don't need more than 4 double chests of dirt at any one time, so being able to fill some of this in is helpful for our storage situation too. Helps if I start from the right height, though. The downside of this, of course, is that you end up having to replant everything. Yeah, like right away it just starts to feel a lot better. The kind of thing like you don't want to do this until you have endgame tools either, because doing this with like a simple shovel is not fun unless you've got like endgame enchantments and all that other kind of good stuff. That's a little bit weird. I guess I really didn't shape that part of the river at all, did I? All right, we'll have to go back and get some grass to do that. Maybe we'll just fill into here and then go back and switch. I should also just bring a bed over this way. I think there's one up here. There's a staircase in here? No. I wish there was more kinds of beds. I wish you could have like a cot and a sleeping roll. I think that would make a lot of sense in Minecraft. Nope, I guess I must have just put one here temporarily one time. Oh well, no big deal. The water breathing potions help a lot too. Yeah, you definitely want to do that before you start doing a lot of river stuff. 100%. MindTripMedia, good to see you. Coming in with 200 bits. Thanks ever so much. Appreciate it. I don't see any creepers super nearby. Oh, I forgot grass. Yeah, if that river was going to curve, I'm okay if it gets narrow a little bit. We'd want it to be no wider than that. Be my guess. So I just have to go from here, basically straight across. So this probably has to come in a bit. This might actually change the way that this slope goes. It's fine. 2, 3. Yeah, let's go longer here. And then 2. It's really straight. Maybe we need to taper it back in here. Oh, that's not too wide, or too narrow rather. That's a little bit better. Maybe we can pull it back here. I may even want to just have it go farther out around here so that's not so deep, which would make sense. Because we do want to take it around the bend. It's not bad. Oh, does it go into a different biome? I think it does. River, forest. Yeah. The grass color in river is gross. It's really, really gross. Although, didn't mean to do that. Gamer Hero, hello. Doing well. Just picking through some of the kind of boring to-do list stuff as we try to work through some behind-the-scenes mod issues. One of the, I guess, I'm not sure what you want to call it, pitfalls of running a long-term server is when there's a new version of Minecraft out, you have to update your mods and your quality of life stuff, and then I'm leaning farther away from data packs. Data packs are great for recipes, and they're great for me because I know how to make a data pack, but I find the more robust data packs are more complicated than they need to be and end up being something that don't translate well from a future perspective. So it's not something that I think I'm going to continue with. So anything more complicated like tables and chairs, I think we're going to go with a mod in the future. What I'd really like to do, and this is something that like 2024 Joel would really like to add to his skill set, is learning how to make a mod, like to actually make my own. And therefore I can just stop relying on other people. I can just get exactly what I want. Whoops. Yeah, so that saves us digging out a lot of stuff. We can just fill in a fair amount from here. Now, sometimes this feels like creative mode. It almost feels like cheating. Whoops. Finally. Reached a point where we don't have to fill in every last little bit. The habitat for these salmon is quickly disappearing, just like in real life. Here's something I don't know if I've ever tried. Can you sleep underwater? No. Oh, it's not nighttime yet. I'm curious. Seeing as we have a water breathing potion on. I imagine you probably could if you had like a conduit nearby. Just for like underwater breathing and stuff. That's great. I've been so like realistic about what we do in the medieval kind of fantasy area, even though it's got that fancy twist to it. I still kind of make it grounded in reality. Now, the way that I used to do this, I used to dig up all the sand first. I'm no longer that person that needs absolutely every block that I see. Although we do need more dirt. Which is good, because we've got more to move. You don't usually like tangents. Are they good underwater? I do like that kind of steep. You mean the way that I'm putting it together? It kind of looks like a Cubert game board. I find that that looks pretty good underwater. You end up covering it with lots of vegetation, but this kind of thing is fine because it's all the same thing. It's all a landscape. I don't like it when it's different blocks. So do I have enough in my inventory to maybe test it? Like, yeah, this kind of a thing. Like, I find that can be problematic. Usually what happens is you're trying to create like a difference in a plane. So like maybe you've got some sort of structure, right? And you're trying to communicate that this is doing something. And then you've got that, right? Where it's more effective to layer it. Bad example with sand, because of course that's going to fall. But you'd be better off to create some depth with full geometry. Right? So you wouldn't want this, because then it starts to confuse which is where. So I mean, you could make this out of the two different colors, but if you keep them on the same plane, then it's always very clear what colors are. I mean, it's a terrible color combination, but you kind of get the idea. I think it looks weird with rocks. I think dirt's more forgiving because it's a noisier texture. That's probably another reason why I don't mind it under the riverbeds. It's also, these are not things that you look at directly. These are things that are under layers of water and then layers of green seagrass and things like that. And the reason I fill all this stuff in is because I feel like it's future proofing for when I do end up coming back and maybe working on this little water wheel area or something in the future. The last thing you want to do is have to like have some sort of creative idea you have stifled by the fact that you've got 4 hours of landscaping to do. So when I've got these opportunities waiting for Minecraft mods to update, it's kind of nice to take care of all the grindy stuff. And plus, you know, where you stream, you get to hang out with your crew and chat and all that stuff. Plus, if you're kind of stuck on what to do next, then you can really kind of hammer through some progress quite quickly, because like this is not hard. You know, like it's just, you're just spamming blocks around. There is some intention behind some of the placement, but in situations like this, like you can just get a lot done quite quickly. And despite the problems with elytra and water, I find that the river stuff goes a lot faster than the landscaping stuff because it's underwater, you're caring less about it, but also you can kind of float around like you're in creative mode, and I find that that speeds things up a fair bit. The thing with swimming that's a pain is the fact that unless your feet are on the ground, you can't dig stuff up as fast. So placing is great. Removing is a little bit more difficult. I'm not too worried about the landscaping on this side for now. I just want to get the river done. We're going to have to go get more potions at this rate. JPrice, good to see you. Things are well. Full of pancakes, playing Minecraft. No complaints. I should just go get the shulker box, shouldn't I? It is indeed an awesome way to be. Pancakes came out really well this morning. I mean, they always come out good, but I'm having some issues actually with my apartment stove, and I think I've managed to kind of not fix it, but like adapt some of the things that I've been cooking to be a little bit more consistent. Yay, we're no longer full in the storage for dirt. So while I'm here, put that away. Gravel. And clay is over here somewhere. That's the other thing we have a lot of because of all this river dredging. We certainly cleaned up on the clay. Something I noticed when I was testing a bunch of stuff in 1.20.4 is that when I play with shaders on single player without streaming, I can still get like a 75 frames per second. So I'm really hoping that an upgrade to my processor in the near future will facilitate me being able to stream and potentially also use shaders while I play Minecraft, and I would just be so happy about that. I would feel like I'm living in 2023. I see so many other streamers that can play Minecraft with shaders and stream it just because they play more harder core games like, you know, competitive shooters and stuff like that, and so they end up having a beefier PC, or they just have the budget for it. I guess at some point we have to do the other side here in order to figure out where the bottom's going to be. I kind of like this like grayish fill that we've got going on there, so we're going to leave that. And we'll start here with the coarse dirt. This is like a fun little gate that catches some water and sends it down this little canal. In theory, it's the idea behind it anyway. Oop. A very straight part of the river. Maybe we need to fix that. Take a look. See what we can come up with. Yeah, maybe we can step that forward just a little bit. It was doing that naturally anyway. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And here we can just maybe turn this a little bit sharper. Whoops. See if that helps. Yeah, I think that looks okay. The reason why he's coursed it across the top is, of course, you are standing here. It's nice to have a little bit of pebbles and texture and stuff in it. And he can't really see much past the first block, so keeps it simple. Whoops. You can see how you can quickly amass a fair amount of sand just by doing a little bit of landscaping in your rivers. Same thing with gravel. So I find the key with this stuff is just to get the top part looking the way that you want. And then once you have the top, everything else can come together quite quickly. Here it would be cool if we did coarse dirt maybe all the way down. Just because it is kind of like a man-made part of it. Could even come back here and do a little like gravel or some sort of like fill down here at the bottom. Yeah, there's a lot of sand here. One of the reasons that's nice about the kelp farm stuff we talked about earlier is that when I go to do the sci-fi zone, because I've been so long working in this medieval area that hopefully we'll have the crafter, and then things like making glass, infinite smelting with kelp. Like there's a whole bunch of things that are going to come into the game that I think are going to be really, really helpful for building like a lot of the same block when you need to, especially when you play the game as much as I do and you need stuff to happen in the background. More on the to-do list here, around here. Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, there are some things where like I didn't know how far I was going to build, and it's just one of those things that's nice. I think I mentioned this before on either a podcast or maybe even on stream, in that I want to take this image and upload it onto like a map website, and then see if I can't trace it and like make like a cool like D&D looking map. Our last 3. All right, we've got lots more. Is it me or is the slurping noise really loud? I do have more dirt with me. That's good to know. How am I doing for coarse dirt? Low. Yeah, the kind of D&D like map, because that's what I think it would be fun to kind of give a visitor a graphic, right? And then I could label it. You know, I can call this someone's potato farm. I can call this, you know, the apiary. I could something label this, and then here in the town, I could put like little like numbers or symbols or something like that, and then people could just probably numbers, and then you could say like, you know, this is the keep, and there's a butcher over here, and just have those little numbers. I think that would be really fun. So this is going to be a lot shallower than it is now, too. It's interesting. See, stuff like this, I might actually leave. It'd be kind of fun to figure out, because this ends up being up like this. So that's the actual new riverbed. We've added a couple of blocks at the bottom. But when you see stuff like this, it's kind of fun to just grab a little bit of stone nearby. And then just kind of lean into this a little bit. Leave a little rock there. I'm just waiting for the ability to sleep. So dark. There we go. It was probably a thunderstorm because of how dark it was. So here's a section that I might come back to and do some custom stuff here, because it's right next to a build. So I find that any place like this where there's like an invitation to like get to the waterfront. So like here, same idea. I'd probably do something a little bit more custom along here with the vegetation or something. Might actually replace this. There's a tangent that I didn't like, you know, like this kind of little corner piece. That didn't make any sense to me. Prefer it the other way. Still pretty deep part of the river. I guess this part will fill in a little bit. And then sometimes when it looks a little bit silly, it's just better to fill in the bottom. The bottom is too narrow. And it just makes sense to fill it all in. Collecting nether resources is always kind of a chill thing to do too. JPrice, yeah. It's always a nice lean back experience. Although I find that just like with all the dirt noises, I get really sick of the netherrack pop, you know, because you go through it so quickly. It becomes this really constant noise happening around you. Yeah, I think we're probably just going to fill this in. And why not get a little bit of extra sand while we're here? Why not, right? When it comes up that easy, kind of hard to resist. We're so deep it feels dark. I wonder if it's lighter with the shaders on. A little bit. Actually, a lot. Sun coming through. I find with these rivers, you want them at least 5 wide. Anything less than that, and they start to look a little bit weird. I could make, if I was making my own, I wouldn't make it nearly this deep, but you kind of have to go with what Minecraft gives you. Otherwise, you'd be here for just eons. I try to find that happy medium between like dumping an absolute ton of time into something. Like I feel like having this rock here, kind of a decent spot to have the landscape kind of go up. Right, so again, I'll leave most of this. The sand is going to go. Whoop, need another potion. This bridge was really difficult to get sorted. Angled bridge with various slab layers. It looks good, but like, man, took a while to figure out. And it's also not like an even arch. It's like higher on one end than it is on the other. Took a long time to figure out. All right, more potions. Okay, that looks pretty good. Nice. Now we just have to take this around the corner. Thank you, Sandy. Appreciate it. Actually, that looks better like that, I think. Well, maybe not. All right, so we still have a bit of work to get this part done. And unfortunately, it's going to look kind of crappy until we get some vegetation in there. But I'm going to stick to my breaks. So if you're new to the stream, I take a break once an hour. It gives me a chance to reheat the coffee, grab another glass of water, all that kind of stuff. So I'll be back in 5 or 6 minutes. You should take a break too. I really appreciate everyone hanging out, but sitting forever at the computer or iPad or however you're watching is it's always good to take a break. I'll be right back. can leave all these mobs to burn in the sunlight. And we've got one last water breathing potion, then we're probably going to have to go get more. That'll be a nice break, actually. That should work out. So I'd say we'd fill this in, but I am definitely getting the clay first. Even though we can make clay out of mud now, I'd rather just take it. So I think this is easier to collect than mud. I do find the mangrove swamp to be a little bit tedious to harvest stuff from. Thanks, folks. Appreciate it. Is there anybody in chat that's here for the first time, out of curiosity? I should ask that more often. I feel like some people might be just coming in through the luck of the Twitch algorithm. Dolar says, I have a mud and clay farm. It is still somewhat manual, but much quicker than the swamp. So, faster than getting it out of the excuse me, out of the regular swamp, or faster than like getting the mud has to take a while because the mangrove swamps are terrible to get around in. I mean, they look great, but they're a pain. Oops. Might have to repair our shovel too. Make a round trip. Why not? Some of the things that you can do underwater I always find very funny, like drinking a potion. Opening up a shulker box. Sleeping, yeah, that's another good one. You go dirt, make the mud, and then you dry it to clay. Oh, right. You just have to have the water bottles and the infinite water source thing going on? Right. That makes sense. I should do that the next time I actually need mud. See, that's the kind of thing I want to set up in that sci-fi area, is all those kind of cool automatic farms. Yeah, so I think it's going to stay probably around this deep. Probably going to fill this in too. looks like that's about what I was going to do anyway. Happy, good to see you. Welcome in. I think that just about does this section, doesn't it? I guess I'd want to go technically around the bend, as I had described. Since we're here. I don't know if I don't think I've shaped the edge of this yet. No, it does not look like I have. That's okay. That will not take long. Matter of fact, I think that pretty much does it, doesn't it? Just one little bit over here. Good stuff. Cool. Gets that done, and then we just have to do this little bank here. Whoops. Yeah, it's one of those things that's nice when you get really close to being done and you just have a few more blocks to go. And you just know it's only going to be like 10 minutes. So this is one of those situations where I find it looks kind of funny when it's that narrow. So what I do is I tend to fill it in. And then you can kind of create a little bit of a gradual shift in how deep it is as best you can. Sure. When I think I need 10 more minutes to do something, it's probably closer to 30. That's fair. I've had that happen too. My problem is like, if I'm not paying attention, all of a sudden I'm riverscaping this thing down around the bend down that way. It's like for no good reason. Like I just end up keeping on going down the line. But my main concern is things like, I don't know, if someone was here checking out the gate, it just feels like it's complete around the corner. Just little things like that. Well, thanks, Happy. I'm glad that you like it. So one last thing to do, even though we've run out of water breathing potions, is going to be a little bit of bone meal. And then we'll run through and double check. I don't think I've missed anything. So with this, I just tend to run along, quickly hit everything with kind of along the surface, just try not to go in a straight line. And I'm not spamming it too hard. And then you can kind of come back along the sides. I just tend to hit it where it looks a little bit bald. It doesn't go as thick up on the sides like this, which is nice. And then we just kind of pop through the other side. I have to use a little bit more bone meal. Yeah, we actually will be able to put a check in the book, I think. Path over here too, so I'll throw in extra along there. Doesn't that look a lot better than all this nonsense? Like, look at all the sand. I mean, it's cool that there's a lake and then it goes into a swamp and then there's all this kind of different, you know, topography and whatnot, but I like just a simple thing to do. Now, sometimes they end up with a little bit too much, so you can kind of come back through and just be like, maybe a little bit too dense in places. or repetitive. Looks like squares. So I just kind of randomly punch a few things. I wish that it wasn't so blocky. It would be nice if it was a little bit more of a natural pattern. GrandpaCrafter giving 3 months of tier 1 to Happy. Thanks so much. That's amazing, GrandpaCrafter. Happy, make sure you connect your Discord and your Twitch account so you can join us in the Joel Duggan Discord. Now that you have another sub. Yeah. So in this situation, what I would end up doing is when we come back and texture this road and finish all this stuff up here, I would kind of come in here and do like custom plants, maybe some bushes and things just in this area here, because this is a potential plot where a player would stand. Same thing with over there. You know, we just take a look around, see how it looks, what's in the area that you want to draw people's attention to. Like there's a little irrigation thing over here. So like maybe we take this path and push it just a little bit over here, just so it's cool to come over here and look at that. It's kind of give people an indication like, oh, maybe they should go in this direction. That kind of a thing. What could be over there? Why would I want to go that way? Right. So when we finish the little kind of look off points. Same thing with the bridges. Like here, it's just random bone meal grass. But then when you get here, you know, like you kind of want this area to be looking nice and this area to be looking nice because you're close. It's coarse dirt, cosmic quilfer. It's custom coarse dirt texture. Uses, I think it's MBT data. There's like 2 or 3 different kinds of pebbles, and it just kind of randomly does whatever. All right, let's go get some more potions and repair my shovel and clean out the old inventory. That next time we can just start fresh. Bring that with us. Don't think. I guess the bottles can go in there. Can refresh the bottles over at Mattcast's Potion Farm. And I'll bring sword and bow, should we need it. And maybe a couple extra rockets. Cool. Yeah, I find I often get into the nether and I forget to bring a bow. And I'm not worried about dying. I'm worried about a ghast blowing up builds, you know? So if I have a bow, then we can just take care of the ghast before they even shoot at us sometimes. See, even like with shaders, you really can't see much at all, but it just kind of helps make it feel more complete. I guess we should have slept. Did I bring a bed? I did. Because the woods are dark when we get out past the farms. Although if I can make it to the top of the ridge, it's actually quite a pretty sunset. Don't know if we'll get there in time though. Oh yeah. There's a reason why I picked this spot to have a path. Very, very cool. We might actually make it to the to that place. I mean, we could sleep right now, but we'll make it there before dark, that's for sure. I think also with shaders, it's lighter, longer. Minecraft gets quite dark around 1730, give or take. Although, quickly goes to dark now. We don't come through this way at night very often. Cool looking. And there's a random bee over there, it looks like. Yeah. Alright, we will sleep before we go through because the center of the world is also very dark. For anybody new, we have some command blocks that help us teleport to the different zones. So this takes us 10,000 blocks back to spawn. And that way people don't build skyscrapers next to castles. There's different areas that are just designated for certain styles of building. Which is, I think, a nice way to run a multiplayer server. And we are going to Potion Brewer and then Shovel Repair. Meto, hello, good to see you. Alright, first things first. Spare bottles go in here. And does this need... Yes, it does. Do our server duty. Fill her up. And we low on anything else? Sugar is good. Redstone is good. In other words, okay, could be better. And no blaze powder. A little bit in there. Those are swiftness. I wanted this one. Also needs water bottles. We obviously do more water breathing potions than anything else. Still getting used to the new water breathing and swiftness potion colors. Is there more? Don't know where that points. Looks like it goes in there. Where's the behind the scenes door? I didn't build this, so I don't know off the top of my head. I would say those are all meant to be water bottles. Yeah. Uh-oh. And the game crashed. Awesome. Stack overflow error. I think that's the mod that I use to move the bottles around, the little animation. It's not been updated in a while. It still works, but every now and again it crashes. I don't want to get rid of it because I quite like it, but this does happen from time to time. Yeah, I'm not used to the colors either, Meadow. I think, I mean, I know for sure that they did a a post. I think it was King B Dogs, where they were talking about it's not a permanent or perfect solution, but it's a start. And I think what they need to do is they need to get the art team to design different sprites. And from there, you could have, oh, it is, wow. All right. Well, maybe I do have to get rid of that mod. There's an amazing new, more compact brew machine that fills its own bottles. Oh, sure. Yeah. MacCast built this ages and ages and ages ago. So the thing about this is that we've got so many things on the server that were built like ages ago. I run into the same thing on Satisfactory, actually, in that I think it's got something to do with the hoppers here. But we'll just get rid of the bottles. It's not like there's bottles are not expensive. I've got a witch farm that gives us bottles. So yeah, I'm not worried about it. I'm just gonna leave them in my inventory for now. I do need to get some of these. How many do I need? We're really chugging frames here too. Let's get 6, 8. But I'll take them out one at a time. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That way we won't use the mod to slide things around and cause a crash. It's been acting finicky ever since 1.20.1, which is what we're on now. So I'm looking forward to seeing if there's things that improve with 1.20. Oh man, yeah, the frame rate is just abysmal around here. What is going on? I wonder if something just in that area. I'll have to check. Yeah, we're back up to 75 in here. Beat. Where'd you go? Gotcha. Leave me anything good? I guessed here. I'll take it. See if I can thread the needle here. Beautiful. I think our shovel is the only thing that's really low. Maybe the elytra. They would have been. I don't think anything else in here needs repair. Nope. Not that has mending on it anyway. And that is how you fix things very quickly. And that's a netherite shovel too. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, that's a good policy. It's too bad. I really like how modern that mod makes the inventory feel. Alright. That's not even enough gold to bother with, so we're just gonna let whoever comes here next get whatever gold that is. Call that a day. I am actually going to continue to stream, but I'm going to switch over to Satisfactory today and pick up where we left off on, I guess it was Thursday? Yeah. We've got some cool stuff going on in that game. Very similar situation where we've been there a while, so some of the new features in the game we haven't really been implementing on some of our older factories or factory floors. So it's been fun to kind of update them, and we've got to build an awful lot of assemblers and whatnot. So that is going to mean more blueprints to build. So that stuff should come together quite quickly. But if you've enjoyed this and you want to check out more Minecraft stuff, you can do that over on Joel Duggan VODs on YouTube. You can also listen to the Spawn Chunks podcast on Spotify, iTunes, you know, wherever you listen to podcasts. It's even on YouTube if you've got like a YouTube, what's it called? Not Premiere. Premium, I guess. You want to listen there. We don't have any ads in the show anyway. At least not in the recording. There might be some ads on YouTube, but you can always listen in other ways. You can also check out things on Twitter. I'm at Joel Duggan, very easy to find. And of course, the Patreon is a great way to support your favorite streamers. And I have one. It's at patreon.com/JoelDuggan. It's one of the great ways to join the Discord as well. Very affordable. Price of a cup of coffee a month. And it helps me continue to stream every other week. Not every other week. Every week. Every other day. So hang tight. I'm going to take a slightly extended break while I switch over to Satisfactory. I'll be right back in about 10 or 15 minutes. And we'll keep on the streaming day. I'll talk to you next time.